And just in time for air conditioning season, our electricity bills are about to go way up again. New rates take effect June 1st, and you're looking on your screen here. You can expect the average monthly impact to be about $15 to $18 more than what you're used to. But there's a twist if you live in Maryland. One of the companies that operates the power grid is accused of overcharging utility companies for electricity, and that cost is apparently getting passed on to you. It's a complicated issue, which is why we're asking our environmental impact reporter Scott Broom to take a careful look.
The company that operates the electricity grid in our region is called PJM Interconnect. And every couple of years, they conduct a big auction where the owners of power plants from Illinois to North Carolina set the price for the electricity they're going to produce. The auction for this year's power set an all-time record price jump, going up more than 8 times. You heard that right, a price jump of over 800%. But here's where things get interesting, particularly in Maryland. Regulators in Maryland are now convinced the price was artificially inflated. Here's how. There are 2 aging power plants in Maryland, Brandon Shores and Wagner, that were set to retire, but had those plans canceled by PJM because supply is so tight. Together, those plants produce more than 2,000 megawatts of electricity, but PJM is accused of leaving that supply out of the auction, artificially raising the price. In a complaint to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, Maryland's Office of the People's Counsel claims the auction, quote, distorted the perceived supply-demand balance across the entire region and created artificial shortages. Here's Maryland's People's Counsel, David S. Lapp, to explain.
It caused a shortage of supply that drove up the capacity clearing price for the auction up to that 800%. If they would have been included in the capacity market, and this is what we're arguing for in our complaint, it would have decreased the clearing price of the auction by $4 to $5 billion. And that 4 to 5 billion is a difference between a customer paying $15, $16 a month versus $5 or $6 a month. So that's that adds up.
In a written statement, PJM Interconnect called its auction, quote, just and reasonable, and says it is, quote, not legally possible to adjust the auction results because the auction was conducted in accordance with the rules. Maryland's Public Service Commission and more than 80 Maryland legislators all joined in on this complaint this week. But can the price be undone? That answer lies with federal regulators, which have not said when they might rule. If it goes Maryland's way, electric bills will still be going up beginning next month, but only by about half as much. In Maryland, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
So, just a few hours ago, we received a joint statement from Exelon and its Maryland utility companies, BGE, Delmarva, and Pepco. And it says they, and we're quoting here, welcome all constructive discussion on how to support Marylanders facing rising energy costs. That statement goes on to say they will work with PJM Interconnection, elected leaders, and customers to be part of a path forward.